Live soon. Welcome to the Holistic Kid Show. My name is Zane.
My name's
And
Abdullah.
my name's Iman.
We're the Holistic Kids here to educate and empower us kids from the inside out. Imad, what are we doing? Going to school, getting good grades, getting into a good college, then getting into a good job, making lots of money, finding a good partner, buying a house, having crazy children like us.
I guess we are trying to build a life for ourselves, make lots of money, and then we can be happy, right? Isn't that the purpose of our lives? Isn't that what everyone is trying to accomplish?
But don't you see a lot of celebrities who have a lot of money and they're still miserable?
So is that the kind of life that you want to build?
I like money, but will that really make us happy and healthy? Because celebrities make money, but are they happy?
How do we build a life at our age that will actually keep us happy and healthy? A life filled with purpose and meaning. What tools will we need?
Well, we have a very special treat for all of you. We have with us today our heroes, the one and only founders of Mind Body Green. They are the experts on how to build a life at any age, and we can't wait to hear their pearls of wisdom.
Wow, I'm so happy to meet them.
And we are also so honored and excited. My mom can't stop talking about how amazing they are. Jason and Colleen Wachob are the founders of Mind Body Green, a leading independent lifestyle media brand dedicated to wellness. MBG reaches 15 million people globally every month through written content, podcasts, events, and even video classes. The company's 360-degree approach to wellness incorporates mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and environmental well-being.
So let's jump. We know that you're incredibly busy. So we are so honored that you could join us today.
Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. This means so much to us.
Well, you guys are so kind, and we're so honored to be with you. And thank you so much for your lovely introduction.
So let's jump right in.
So, Mr. Wakup, you started from being a college basketball star, then working in Wall Street, and then you graduated from Stanford with degrees in international relations and Spanish. How did you go from there to starting the largest lifestyle media brand dedicated to wellness? Seems like complete different categories. Spanish, basketball, and business and health. They're completely different.
So I actually, Colleen went to Stanford and majored in Spanish. I went to Columbia. I did play basketball. Spanish almost prevented me from graduating from Columbia, so it did play a vital role in my journey. I'm not so good at languages, better at basketball. So I think my journey started in 2009 after Wall Street, and I was running another startup that wasn't doing so well, and I was flying a lot. I flew over 100,000 miles domestic in 1 year. Sitting in a coach seat. I'm 6'7". Me in a coach seat is not good for anybody, especially my lower back. And so being stressed about the business I was part of and all the flying, and it was manifesting in poor sleep. I wasn't eating so well. My idea of nutrition back then was steak and martinis. I still eat meat, but not as much. Make sure it's grass fed. It led to two extruded discs in my lower back, L4, L5, S1, pressing on my sciatic nerve. So I had excruciating sciatica. I couldn't walk. Went to a doctor. He said, "You need back surgery." Nothing against surgery, but generally see it as a last resort. So I sought a second opinion, and that doctor said the same thing. He said, "You need surgery." And then he said, "You know what? You may want to try yoga or some therapy. That might help." And so Colleen and I were dating at the time, and Colleen had a yoga practice. So I said, "All right, I'll try some yoga." So started with some really light yoga, 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and evening. Started to feel better. Started to take a harder look at nutrition. Started to eat a lot more plants, a lot more anti-inflammatory foods, like how you profile an Adam's Healing Adventure, and started to look at the toxins I was putting in my body and environment, and made a lot of changes in my life, and yoga was a big part of it. And I went from barely walking to completely fine, to this day I'd never had back surgery. And so it was through that experience I said, wow, everyone's got well-being wrong. It's not about vanity, it's not about weight loss, it's this blend of mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and environmental well-being. And they were all connected, one word, mind, body, green. And so that's how it all started back in 2009. Here we are.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
So you guys said that you went from yoga to basically starting your own media brand. That seems very complicated.
It is. It gets more complicated as you grow.
So what do you do on Mind Body Green that makes it different than everything else?
Well, I think the special sauce in Mind Body Green is what we decide to cover from a content standpoint, and also what we decide not to cover from a content standpoint, because the words on the screen is really how our brand gets put out and communicated out into the world and the universe. And very much like Adam's Healing Adventures, which is such an important book for our daughters, Ellie and Grace. They love it. It's this blend of holistic and science-backed modalities. So if we're covering something, we want to ensure that our readers presented with a blend of both worlds, and that special perspective of mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, environmental well-being is what we want to help our audience bring to life in their own world, in their own lives. Ultimately, we just want to help people lead complete and fulfilling lives. And just like you guys were saying in the introduction, the old standards of making money and being happy probably don't apply anymore. So how people help them define what it means to be happy and fulfilled, and give them the tools to bring that into their lives and their families' lives.
So obviously you lived the life we are all trying to get to. But for you, when you got there, you were still missing something. What tools did you use to help you build the life you really wanted for yourself?
Well, I'd say we view life and we view well-being as both journeys. And so I don't think we're necessarily there. We're still on the journey. And in the journey, we have good days and we have bad days. But what we have today is a wellness toolkit where, we have practices and modalities we can go to help make us, better people, happier people, healthier people, whether that's, breath work via nasal breathing or yoga or eating plenty of vegetables or what have you. I think that's what's changed for ourselves.
So most kids are pushed from school to another activity to another, and all a lot of parents care about is if you get good grades and if you get into a good college. What should parents also help their kids understand to help build a life that is happy and healthy?
Wow, this is something we talk about a lot in our house, because our girls are a little bit younger than you, but where we currently live in New York City, we feel these pressures a lot. And I think it's really hard to be a kid right now. And that's why we're going to leave New York City. But I see this, and it does make me, it makes me sad. With our daughters who, haven't reached probably some of the hardest parts of childhood, because they're just 5 and 2.5. So they're not really in school. They kind of are. We're really trying to build them to be kind people, creative people, resilient people, people who try really hard. And we try to incorporate some of the ideals of Mind Body Green into their daily practices. They have mantras and affirmations that they end the night with, although we don't call them that, but they do end the night with things about saying how they want to be helping people and how they can do anything. And ultimately, I think the rules are changing, and our daughters are going to have a very different path to navigate to find success in life. And I think the old way was you get good grades, you get to a good college, you get a good job, and there's just lots of different paths that people can create now and create their own destiny through lots of different entrepreneurial means. So I don't think for our family, getting into college and getting good grades is necessarily our North Star.
We would love to know your routine. What habits do you teach them to help them build a life of health and happiness?
It's a good question. We're trying. And so one of the things we try to do, we try to get them to cook with us when we can. We try to set a menu every week in terms of what we have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and try to make sure that we've got some of our quote unquote healthy standards on there. And look, sometimes treats happen and that's okay. We try to make sure they're always active. So we're getting lots of time, free play outside at the park or on the playground, and also a lot of structured activities in sports, because we believe in the power of movement and getting outside and connecting with other kids. Just sports are very important to us, and both sports played formative roles in both Colleen and I's childhood. So we believe in the power of athletics. And so on a daily basis, that's what we try to do. We try to, get everyone moving, trying to get everyone eating healthy, and always try to close the night with blessings or affirmations. Not always perfect. Sometimes it's a struggle, but we try.
And one thing to add, when you're talking to kids, right? You can't say mantra, like, oh, we're gonna do a mantra, because kids don't understand what mantra is. We used to have something called a thankful song, which made us understand what a mantra is for us. Because otherwise we're just like, okay, mantra is a fun word to say, but like we don't understand it. So that's why it's very important to get to the kids level.
Great point.
We would love to hear your daily routine.
Keelan?
A lot of people think that
Because a lot of people think that building a successful business and life has really nothing to do with food. But food impacts so much of your mental state. But people just think, money is a successful business, and life is just successful and just money. What are your thoughts on the money business and how people view life?
I think, look, at the end of the day, everyone has a different definition of success. And I think for us, and I think for many people, success is not about money. Although we have nothing against money, we like money. Money can solve a lot of problems. Money can open a lot of doors. However, real success is about happiness and health. And, you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. And when you're not eating well, you're probably not going to be feeling well. And when you're not feeling well, you're not going to be at your best. Whether that's at work or in your personal life. For those who have ever suffered from an illness or just don't feel well, it's not a fun place to be. But when you are eating well and you're feeling well, it is, you're better. You're a better person. You're better at relationships, and you're better at work. And so, to us, it's kind of non-negotiable. We want to do everything we can, in terms of eating well, so that we feel well, and we're better. We're better humans, and we're also better at work.
That is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
He's right.
So life comes with ups and downs. Most don't know how to deal with life's downs. What are you teaching your kids about life's downs?
I think to never give up, to get back up. Our oldest daughter, goes to jujitsu here in Brooklyn, which she loves, and it's amazing. And one of the things they talked about last week in class, in jujitsu, they don't give up. They always try. And it's okay to slow down, and it's not okay to give up, though. So you always try. And, in terms of life, you're going to get knocked down. Adversity is going to come. It's what happens with life, but it's important to always try, never give up, and have faith that things are going to work out. It's very easy to have faith when things are going your well and you can see what's right in front of you. Not so easy when you can't see what's in front of you and things aren't going so well. And so, we try to teach our daughters to plow forward, to never give up, and also to have faith.
So basically, you teach them to look at the glass half full.
We try.
We try.
So you both live in Brooklyn, New York, and you talked about the importance of nature, even though last time I checked, nature isn't a big thing in cities. They have, but how do you incorporate nature in your daily routine when you're living in such a big populated city with just tons of buildings and stone?
We live a block and a half from the Brooklyn Bridge Park, and our daughters spend so much of their day there. We start our mornings with a long walk around the Brooklyn Bridge Park, and we go way farther away from our office on our walk just because we enjoy walking and think it's such an important part of our exercise routine. And our girls spend so many great afternoons in the park, but ultimately, we do want more nature in our life. And so we're going to leave Brooklyn and move to another city in Miami because we do want to be outside more. We understand the importance of vitamin D. And we talked a lot about sports, and it's a lot easier to play a lot of outdoor sports when the sun is shining. And it's just harder to do here in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's really important to get the sunshine as well. You need the vitamins. So that is some great information.
Yeah, this is awesome.
What are other key components of building a life you want, no matter what age you are?
Oh, good question. I think always listen to your gut. Your gut tends to be right. There are practices that make listening to your gut easier. Whether that's mindfulness or meditation or yoga. I think they help you become better at listening to your gut. Also, experience makes you better at listening to your gut. And then I also think, finding what you're passionate about and, spending more time doing the things you like doing. Because invariably you're going to work harder at those things. You're probably going to be better at those things. Not always true for everything, but I think generally that's a rule of thumb. And work hard. I don't know anyone, however you define success, I don't know anyone who's successful who doesn't work hard at what they do. So, got anything?
Yeah, some of the things I've learned is just the stress doesn't leave, it just kind of changes. So you got to learn how to deal with the waves and the ups and downs. We talked about trusting the process. And then you got to figure out what part of your wellness routine needs the most love and lean in and work on that because you can't do everything at one time.
So, yeah, life is hard. How do you remember to be happy every day while you're working towards your goals?
Well, I muscle memory. I think we're a lot older. I'm 47, Colleen's 42, and so not every day is a walk in the park at work. However, we try to stay grounded. We try to stay grateful because ultimately, everyone's healthy in our family. Everyone's happy. Our business is great. Even times when it wasn't great, we do what we love, and we're helping people change their lives for the better. So that's pretty great. And so we just try to bring that with us every day, no matter what the day brings.
Yeah, I think it's all about remembering the perspective because, you can get lost in something that didn't go your way or something that you really wanted to do that didn't come to life. But keeping that perspective, and, we started the call with your mom just saying, everyone's healthy and happy. We're so blessed. And at the end of the day, think especially over the last couple of years, everyone realizes that's really all that matters. When your family and your friends and your loved ones are feeling good and feeling well, that's the most important thing in life.
100%.
100%.
100%.
More like 150%.
What, like 150%?
What stress management techniques do you use regularly to manage such a big company? Because it's a lot of stress.
Yeah, so today going to work, I wore my workout clothes, as you guys can see, because I knew I needed to do some yoga at the office, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get it in after work. So yoga is one of my daily go-tos, and I don't do a lot. It's 15, 20 minutes. If I have the privilege and pleasure of being able to do a class that's longer, I love it, but I love yoga. Our girls like trying to do yoga poses. It's something really the whole family can do. Although when I'm doing it for stress management, I prefer to do it without the girls.
And for me, breath work, specifically nasal breathing, little meditation, 5 or so minutes, try to get outside, walk in the park. And I go to the gym for about 20 minutes, a couple times a week. And that seems to work for me.
Yeah, we don't go to gym yet.
Yeah.
Too young. I hear you.
Yeah.
We would love to know what other things you do with the kids, your kids, to help them succeed, right?
Yeah.
I think our approach to parenthood, and again, we're on the journey here, is to expose them to as many things as possible and see where they gravitate to and encourage them. So far, they like a lot of things, which is great. And so for us, what we value sports, we value the arts. And so that's where we're exposing them more rather than, mathematics or science. Sorry.
Those are great too.
Those are great too. Not,
Kind of.
so we're just trying to encourage them and support them and keep them active and hopefully keep them curious.
Yeah, figure out what they enjoy and what they're good at, and then move them closer in that direction.
We love that.
Love it.
Love it.
So, when your kids, if they ask how to be positive, what would you tell them? Because we get bored sometimes as well. We don't know what to do when we get sad sometimes. What do you tell them?
Well, they're a little younger than you, so they don't ask those questions yet.
Yeah, well, when they will.
But what I would say, there's the parable that my mother used to say to me. The boy with no shoes cried until he met the boy with no feet. And there's tremendous perspective in that, in terms of feeling grateful for what you have. And I remember as a kid hearing that really sunk in. And so at the appropriate time, I'll probably go to that parable.
So we saw that you wrote an amazing book. Please tell us more about your WELLth, how to build a life and not a resume.
Oh wow, you got
it right there.
That's an oldie. I think that came out in March 2016. So I wrote it in 2014. So it's like ages ago. So for me, the book is really about my personal journey. It was something I wanted to share. My journey was not perfect. It was more like a zigzagging journey with ups and downs. And I wanted to share that because specifically in health and wellness at the time, a lot of people were focused about perfection. And that wasn't me at all. And I was sharing, my story and what led me to health and well-being and ultimately start mindbodygreen. So that's WELLth. And Colleen and I are working on a new book together, which is going to come out in
May 2023.
May 2023.
I can't think that far in advance.
Neither can I.
Whew.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Wakup, Wakup. That was so powerful. What is one thing people can start today to help them build the life filled with health and happiness?
Well, I know I have one. Your mom's gonna like this. Gratitude. Gratitude and vegetables.
Yes, I remember reading about the rainbow
Yes.
in Adam's Healing Adventures. I'd say trust the process through life's ups and downs.
That is so amazing. And so you told us that and let's time to recap. I think should we recap then?
Yes.
No, let's just do where can people learn more about you and your work?
Okay, no recap.
So you can go to mindbodygreen.com. You could go to the Mindbodygreen podcast. You could go to Mindbodygreen on every social media channel there is. And then Colleen and I are both on Instagram personally. It's just our names, Colleen Wachob and Jason Wakup. And so we're out there. We're on the interwebs.
That was so empowering. Everyone, make sure to follow mindbodygreen on social media and Mr. Wakup's book, WELLth, How to Build a Life, Not a Resume. It's a must get. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Wakup. This was so empowering. Thank
And
you,
so
everyone.
amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys so much. Be well.
Now we can recap Mr. and Mrs. Wakup's key points.
Building a healthy and happy life is really about the journey. Take that first small step, small habits you install now. So no matter how old you are, you can help to optimize your life. Make sure to embrace the journey. It is never too late and never too early to start today. If you want to be better, you got to use these tools. Real success is about happiness and health. When you are not eating well, you are not likely feeling well. And when you're not feeling well, you are not likely doing that well.
Wake up every day with gratitude. The only way you can be happy is by having having a gratitude practice. We love singing our favorite song, the thankful song, every morning.
It helps us focus on all the things that are going right in our lives. Not wrong. It helps us make better decisions throughout the day. Gratitude can help to build self-esteem as it can lead to having more positive feelings about yourself. Close the night with positivity.
Make sure to move every day, even if it is 5 minutes. We love to play tag outside barefoot.
Make sure to move every day, even explore and experience nature. They believe in the power of movement
In gratitude.
Yeah.
and gratitude.
And the foods.
Yeah.
Yes. Restore, find some downtime to relax. We love to incorporate meditation and prayer into our daily life. We also love to take deep breaths to help us reset. The stress doesn't just go away. It just shifts back and forth. So it's important to be able to manage your stress. Eat foods that will nourish your brain and body. Make sure to eat not too much and mostly plants. Building a life is building meaningful experiences that bring us health and happiness. And make sure you trust your gut instinct. Try mindfulness, yoga, or meditation, and trust the process. Continue to pursue excellence and goals. Life will have ups and it'll have downs, but make sure to never give up and plow right through and continue to be positive. But no matter who you are, you have in your home, from newborns to teenagers, all these tools can be helped to build the life at any age.
Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Wakup. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zansari.
I'm Dula.
And I'm Iman.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom of D, and look out for my mom's work, the Holistic RX, your guide to healing chronic inflammation and disease. And we are so excited to announce our mom's new books, The Holistic RX for Kids, Parenting Healthy Brains and Bodies in a Changing World, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventures, Power of Rainbow Suits. So check it out on Amazon. Yay! We have a special gift for everyone listening because we're almost at our 2-year mark. We want to give you all a special dessert cookbook. We know most kids love sweets, so we put our favorite recipes just for you. Check it out on the description of this podcast, which is somewhere. So kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast in iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kid Show, where kids are empowering kids.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.